In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a concept known as a non-pecuniary benefit, and it will help us to understand why when people make decisions, they don't always do what's in their best financial interest. To help us to understand this concept, let's consider a hypothetical scenario. Suppose that when you leave UCO, you receive two job offers. Let's say that the first offer is in what you would call a good job. It's a job that makes you excited. It's a job that makes you eager to go to work each day. On the other hand, the second job offer is what we would call a bad job. It's a job that, well, makes you dread going to work each morning. Now, the first job, the good job, brings with it a salary offer of $25,000 a year. The bad job, though, brings with it a much higher salary, let's say $75,000 a year. So which job do you choose? The lower paying good job or the higher paying bad job? Now, there's no right or wrong answer to this question. In fact, different students would answer this question differently. Some of you in this situation would choose the higher paying bad job. Some of you would choose the lower paying good job. Now, it's easy to understand why someone would choose the higher pay. It's easy to see that in our tables. But what about the good job? Why would someone choose the good job and the lower pay? How can we represent that choice in our tables? Well, it turns out it's rather simple. All we have to use is what we call a non-pecuniary benefit. Now, non-pecuniary just means non-monetary. In other words, there's something else besides money that makes you happy. In the case of a good job, perhaps it has flexible schedules, or perhaps it allows you to travel a lot. Perhaps it allows you to stay close to friends and family. Or perhaps it's just a job that challenges you intellectually and makes it fun. Whatever it is, if you chose the good job, then you must have something else, some other benefits, these non-pecuniary benefits that have tipped the scale in favor of choosing the good job. Now, on the table here, what I've done is I've added $60,000 worth of non-pecuniary benefits to the additional happiness that a person receives from doing the good job. Now, you might ask, well, if these are non-monetary benefits, how can we put a dollar value on them? Well, it turns out we do this all the time. In fact, if you chose the good job, then what you must have done is placed a value on these non-pecuniary benefits that exceeded at least $50,000. You must have done so in order to make it worthwhile for you to choose the good job. You see, things don't always just have to give us money for us to put a dollar value on them. In fact, we make these decisions and these comparisons quite regularly. Now let's finish out the rest of our table. If we choose the good job, then the marginal cost that we face is the additional earnings we could receive from the bad job. If we had chosen the bad job, we would have received $75,000. So if we choose the good job, we give up that $75,000 of salary. What about the marginal cost of the bad job? Well, if we choose the bad job, then we give up all the happiness that the good job would have given us. That includes a $25,000 salary, but also the $60,000 of non-pecuniary benefits. Those count too. In other words, if we choose the bad job, we have to sacrifice $85,000. Now, to compute the net benefits, we see that for the good job, we have a marginal utility of $85,000, a marginal cost of $75,000, giving us a net benefit of positive $10,000. For the bad job, we see a salary of $75,000, a marginal cost of $85,000, giving us a net benefit of negative $10,000. Since people do the things that they believe will give them a positive net benefit, we see that this person would have chosen the good job because the non-pecuniary benefits outweighed the lost salary. It's important to keep in mind as we work through these tables, as we think about individual behavior, it's important to remember that people don't always do the things that they do to make them richer. They don't always do the things that they do to make them as well off as possible. They do the things that they do to make them happier, to maximize their utility. And sometimes that means doing things that make them worse off financially.